In this video, we're taking a look at the Trimui Smart Pro, a retro handheld gaming console from Trimui. I'll go over what I like about it, what I think could be improved, and why you might actually want one. I'm not planning a backpacking trip through Asia anytime soon, but I do find myself zipping around the city on public transport quite often, and honestly, carrying something like a Steam Deck, a Messiah Claw or even a Switch isn't always very practical. Of course, they are technically portable, but in real life they can feel bulky and conspicuous. You usually need a backpack, a case, headphones, basically got a whole setup with you, and you might just end up looking like a bit of a dork out in the real world, not to mention the fact that you can attract the kind of attention that you don't always want. That's where actually alternatives come in, and recently I got an email from the kind folks at MECHDIY, more about them later, and they asked me if I'd review one of the handhelds that they stock, the Trimui Smart Pro. I asked, what's the catch? They said none, just review it honestly and tell your audience what you think about it. We don't need to see the video and we don't need to give you approval, you've got total freedom and you're not getting paid. So I said that's fine, and here we are. This is the Trimui Smart Pro. The console itself measures 18 by 8 by 1.7 centimeters and weighs around 231 grams, less than half the weight of a Switch or Steam Deck, and inside it runs on Linux, powered by an all-winner A133 processor at 1.8 GHz with an Imagination Power VRG 8300 GPU plus 1 GB of LPDDR4 RAM. The screen is a 4.96-inch IPS panel at 720x1280 resolution. It's a very nice, very sharp little screen. The 5000 mAh battery gives you up to 5 hours of gameplay and it charges very quickly. You get 8 GB of built-in eMMC storage with easy expansion via TF card up to 256 GB supported. Connectivity includes Wi-Fi for multiplayer and Bluetooth. You've got USB-C ports at the bottom for charging and another USB-C at the top for your game controllers. You can, by the way, connect them via Bluetooth as well. Other nice touches are the RGB indicator lights, ambient lighting around the sticks, and even a basic vibration motor. So now that you know the specs and what this actually feels like, what can it run? This is where the Smart Pro shines. And out of the box, it supports 20 plus emulators, everything from classic Nintendo and Sega handhelds and consoles, all the way to PlayStation, Dreamcast, N64 and PSP. So just to name a few: NES, Super NES, Game Boy, Mega Drive, Genesis Master System, CPS1 consoles 2 and 3, Neo Geo, Atari 2600 and 7800, and of course the PSP. So since it's built on RetroArch, you can actually add more cores and formats as you go. Basically, if you grew up with it or always wanted to try it, there's a very good chance this device can handle it. Now, quick word on ROMs. Downloading games you don't own is piracy, and that's the reality. So I won't tell you how you can get them. But here's the good part about this: if you buy through MECHDIY, the Smart Pro ships with a genuine SanDisk microSD card up to 256 GB, already preloaded with games. So you've got plug and play, no fiddling, no knockoffs, and that alone sets it apart from many bare-bone handhelds. And on top of that, it runs Crossmix OS, which is actually a really smooth front end. It is pre-installed, you don't need to set up anything, so no headaches there. It boots straight into your library, and it's got really cool functions like auto save and resume. So if you quit a game and exit, the next time you pick it up, you just pick up where you left off from. That works excellently. You can customize everything. There's 15 plus themes. You've got different icon sets, you've got backgrounds, you can map the buttons, and you can really make it look and feel how you want. There's quite a few apps here as well, and to be honest, I haven't used them, but if you had a PC, you could actually stream to the Trimui Smart Pro by using Moonlight, which is installed. You've got a video player as well, file manager, screen recording, so even VNC remote control. So there's a lot you can do here. So you're not just getting another retro handheld, it's actually closer to, let's call it a mini ecosystem. Now let me mention a quick thing because I think it's the right time to do it. When I was expecting my review unit, I actually did run into a hiccup with the courier and the delivery of that unit, and that was entirely on the shipping side, nothing to do with MECHDIY. Still, their support team stepped in and handled everything super quickly and extremely professionally, which I really appreciated. And this, by the way, has no influence on my review of the handheld itself. But I really want to mention it, pointing out that MECHDIY's customer service was excellent throughout. Thanks for that, guys. And judging by the 4.8 out of 5 Trustpilot score, it seems that clearly I'm not the only one having a good experience with them. But now let's go back to the review and to the thing that sold me about this, and that is how practical it is, because it is truly pocketable. It's actually on the same ballpark as my iPhone Pro Max, and you can see them here side by side. So it's just great. You can take it, slap it in your pocket, front pocket or jacket pocket. It fits perfectly, you almost forget it. And I did put a glass screen protector on it. You find the link in the description. Most of the time I just carry it around with no case. But let's talk about the games for a minute, because I got the 256GB card sent out with it, and obviously I can't possibly test out everything that there is on it because we're talking thousands of games, but everything that I tried run very, very smoothly. And to give you an example, what really impressed me were games like GTA Vice City, for example, on the PSP, that felt totally playable, and like other things, for example, Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance, that ran perfectly. And for a handheld this size, it's actually quite impressive how effortlessly it runs everything. But where it really got me was the nostalgia factor, because firing up something like Street Fighter 2 or replaying Batman on Game Boy or blasting through Solar Strike, and these were two of my favourite Game Boy games, that was a great retro feeling. Because the Trimui Smart Pro didn't just let me play, it actually reactivated memories and sensations that I didn't feel and think about in years. So it's those little moments when a sound effect or a sprite just takes you back that really make this handheld very special. Now, as we know, no device is perfect, and let's talk about what I think that could be improved about the Trimui Smart Pro. And that is, for once, the L2 and R2 triggers, because they feel quite soft and a little bit mushy compared to the crispness of the L1 and R1. So that one, just for the feeling of things, could be improved. Then we've got the joysticks. I don't like them. They're very small, they're stiff, they don't click down, and it reminds me a little bit of the PSP, but even worse. So it's usable but not ideal for longer sessions. And then the speakers, because they're rear facing and you can hear everything, they get loud enough, but the sound is a little bit odd and kind of muffled. It would be nicer if it came straight at you. So that's really three things about it. Small gripes in what's otherwise a well-built, fun little console. And at the end of the day, the Trimui Smart Pro is a great little device, I have to say, especially for the price, because it hit me with a ton of nostalgia, especially Game Boy and Super NES classics. It is flexible, it is pocketable, and it is genuinely fun. So whether you're backpacking, let's say you're going somewhere in the world and you don't want to take with you your laptop to game on, or you don't want to take your Steam Deck or your Switch, you want something practical, that's it. Or you're commuting daily, or even just relaxing on the bed, this is the retro handheld that you'd actually want to take with you. Even if you've got kids, I think this is a very good device to actually get them started. And by the way, with Halloween and the holidays coming up, if you're thinking of getting one, well, here's a little bonus, because if you use the link down in the description and you enter the code PF12 at checkout, you're going to get 12% off your Trimui Smart Pro. So if you've been curious about smaller retro handhelds, this is a great chance to try one without spending big. So big thanks again to MECHDIY for sending out the Trimui Smart Pro. I really enjoyed this one, and thank you for watching PlayFever. If you've got any questions, drop them down in the comments. I'll be reading and replying to them all. That's it for me now. Play hard, play smart, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.